So, in today's recording, we are in my vehicle and we're going to talk about some really interesting stuff. Let me fix my windshield because, as you can see, there's like ice everywhere. It was like below 20 degrees yesterday, and I didn't have any heaters in my cabin, but I have some sophisticated ways to stay warm and really comfortable, honestly. So without heaters, I can sleep comfortably at 10 to minus 10 degrees without heater. Because if you live in Alaska for a couple of months or years, you know exactly how to stay warm. And so yesterday was very cold. All my windshields basically frozen, and right now I'm just defrosting my windows and all that good stuff. So I want to talk about some topic that's been in my mind for a long time now, which is the Freemasonry, right? And people are just like, oh, you have to ask one to be one. And they are an institution of academic and intelligent and wise men that's going to prepare you for a better world because you're blind and lost. And they have all their sacred rituals, hundreds of books. They got thousands of Masonry Bibles that teach you how to build the Solomon's Temple and all that. Blah, 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 blah. All that bullshit. Anyway, so Freemasonry back in the 1800s was hijacked by the royal family and the institutions of religious establishments like the Pope and the royal families out of different kingdoms out of the European region. They slowly infiltrating those institutions because they've been pressing down on those institutions for a long time now to keep people from becoming intelligent and wise enough in sectors of economy, in sectors of engineering, civil engineering, and all sorts of things like that. And they kept a tight grip on those communities to keep them from sharing intelligence to different groups. So Freemasonry at one point had their golden age, which they got out of being in the dark and they went and created a civilization in America and gave people the Constitution, gave people the freedoms that they never really had back in the 1800s. So what happened was, after that, the Rothschild family, because they were running all the budgets and the wars in Europe, they were funding both sides of the war. So after the 1800s and all that, when the Freemasons came to America, fought the Revolutionary Wars and all that, not just Freemasons, but the founders of this nation, who were dual citizens of Europe and America, because America wasn't, the states and the Union wasn't established yet back in the day. But I'm not here to give you a history lesson, but Freemasonry started good. They had their golden age where they created this civilization in America. And then the banking institution, they came along and infiltrated everything and made everything to do with Satanism and other things like that. And Freemasons became like a little apple in a tree, and you just keep tapping the apple, but the apple keeps getting taller and taller. So you're trying to get more and more wisdoms, and you just like, oh shit, I need ladders, and you start stacking ladders to try to grab the apple, which is wisdoms and knowledge. So the old man got really greedy with knowledge. For example, if you watch that movie, The Lighthouse, that's basically what Freemasonry became. So that's what you got to understand, is that Freemasonry was infiltrated, and they created a hierarchy system of slavery, right? This is why everybody's just like, oh, the one eye, the one eye, the one eye. Basically, the one eye is if you betray the Shriners and different institutions of Freemasonry, they will stab you in a fucking eye. and make you walk in the desert bare feet until you die. So Freemasonry is literally punishing themselves in this modern day age. They're walking in the desert right now with the dagger stuck up their eye, and they're, you know, showing off they're only working one eye. So that's what you got to understand. They created a hierarchy system of commerce. They created communism and socialism, and then capitalism on top of it. So they offshore all the production line over to China as a way to get supply. And then they created a system here in America where basically you're just buying. You're not producing anything, you're just buying, and they're supplying you with everything. And then they consolidated power over trade and international commerce. This is why you got Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and all these other people. They established a system of academia where only they are allowed to be a part of some kind of hierarchy system, where only they get, you know, clear clearances or top secret clearances to work on their, you know, projects and stuff like that, to keep the lie going. Just keep the lie going. Like, it's like that old man tapping the apple, but the apple keeps getting taller, so the lie has to keep going, and they have to keep consolidating and pressuring down and beating down the population to continue the lies. And so what they created was a monopoly, a worldwide monopoly, where only they are allowed to operate. Everything is controlled. The entire monopoly is controlled by mobs and religious institutions and academia and all these other places. This is why Freemasons tell you, like, oh, if you become part of a membership, you have to stay active in different parts of the community, because they have to get a grip on information everywhere. Because as of right now, you know, Freemasonry is basically dying. And majority of the time you see a lot of mass shooters shooting a bunch of places up, and there's always a Freemason there to give out interviews and stuff like that, like Sandy Hook and Batman shooters and all these other places. You're always going to see a Freemason giving out interviews. And when I got in touch with like a bunch of activists, a bunch of people from different intelligent places of higher knowledge, they told me that Freemasons, they control majority of the AT&T, which is my phone services provider. They own all the towers everywhere. So they know exactly where I'm going, where I'm at, and they can stalk and spy on you. And then if there's a counter intelligence agency trying to figure out like what's going on with you, they can just send out their agents and leave you alone, and then they can frame you as a crazy. And so I have to send the US government or whoever is watching this video from different embassies and let them know, like, hey, I'm being psychologically fucked with by not just Freemasons, but all these people that are part of this monopoly. And on my previous videos, I was talking about how Fortune 500 companies was giving out institution of spies like Citizen Corp and different community organizers billions of dollars in funds to get tax credit from the government. So Walmart, Ford, and all these other institutions, Fortune 500 companies, are funding the living shit out of all these places. And then they cause control confusion, control chaos, in order to target and create a mass shooter out of a person. So Freemasonry became everything that they say they were against. First of all, they were saying if you're a Freemason, you have to pledge that you're not going to be commit any treason against the United States of America. So creating mass shooter by proxy, that's committing treason. Trying to take people's constitutional rights away, that's treason. So they're becoming that old grumpy guy sitting on a fucking lighthouse with a dagger up his fucking eye, walking through, you know, the desert barefoot with his fucking gut pulling out. So I had to ask Freemasons, like, could you guys watch that movie? Go on YouTube and type in iPad Go, and you're gonna see the one-eyed snake on TV trying to change the narrative, control everybody. And you're gonna see a guy with the egg head, with needles on the ground and everything you can think of, where you're trying to poison the population with mRNA and press down the population even more into this digital system. So do me a huge favor and go watch iPad Go 2, and hopefully Freemasons can, I don't have any pliers here, but pull that shit out. Pull it out, man. Pull it out. I know majority of you guys are Germans that came out of World War II and war zone, and you wanted to be a better man, but pull that shit out of your ass, man. Your shit is already exposed. Like, the documents is already revealed. Why are you wasting your time with me, man? You're committing treason. That's what I gotta say, man. Just absolutely. How is that a better man and a wise person creating socialist monopolies and then communism to feed a bunch of fat fucks here in America to become retarded, to vote for a two-party system that's all control, and then kill half of the fucking military to protect Israel over there so that he can become and pretend to be Egyptian and Solomon and all these other bullshit. Absolute fucking disgrace, man. Absolute fucking disgrace. And mind you, I'm a person who reads everything, and just about everything. And if Freemason had anything to do with the Satanic Church and the Satanic Bible and worshiping Lucifer, he wouldn't be doing all this shit either, because Lucifer was God's favorite angel, and he didn't just betray God or everything you can think of to come down here to have a bunch of pawns like you guys and target the population that way. He wanted to free them, to give them a better options in life. You guys took that away from Lucifer, and then you created a socialist monopoly. That's not what Lucifer would do. If you are a bunch of satanic worshiper, he would give freedom for people to do as they wish, not be a bunch of faggots like you guys creating all this shit that's going on internationally. Grumpy old man sitting at the lighthouse with some shit stuck up his ass, man. Deworm your fucking bodies. Get rid of the fucking parasite in the gut, and then maybe you can start reading some books and stop having brain fog and worshipping Israel so much. Solomon's temple was destroyed, man. God just demolished that shit long ass time ago. So why are you pretending, man? Why are you pretending? Absolutely disgrace.